go, College Football Payoff Podcast. We are in bowl season now. Regular season's over, conference championships over, bowls are all set, and we are going to break this down into 3 parts, I believe, and then the 4th is going to be our national championship.
Yeah,
show.
playoffs, championship, New Year's Six, bowls.
Yeah, we'll break all those down, give them a little more detail, but early on, starting with Friday's game on the 17th, mostly your MAC, Conference USA, Sun Belt, WAC schools, all that. So not much to get into. We're going to just touch on each and every bowl, kind of give you where we're thinking. If we really do like it, it's going to be a podcast lock. If not, this is just the way we're leaning towards it.
Yeah. First 12 bowl games of the season.
Yes.
Go over.
Yes, part 1 is going to be first 12 games of the season.
Maybe 13.
Possibly 13, but looking at these, I just did a quick look over. I think I maybe have 2 locks. The rest of them, just kind of giving my 2 cents on. The way I like to look at it is because these games are, teams that don't play each other often, I look a lot at the trends and their rankings with offense, defense, stuff like that. So I don't know what your thought process is behind of all this, but that's just kind of where my head's at. So I think we are ready. Are you good to go?
Yeah, let's rock.
All right. First bowl, we're going to go Friday, the 17th. We got 2 bowl games. The first one is the Bahamas Bowl, Middle Tennessee versus Toledo. Obviously, this is in the Bahamas. Conference USA versus MAC. This is noon on ESPN. Currently, the spread is Toledo minus 10.5. The over-under is 50.5. I watched a little bit of Toledo just because I know someone who plays there, and not much of Middle Tennessee. But when I looked at this game, I was looking more or less the bowl history, the history of the actual games, to see if there was any trends that I could find in there. This game went back from 2014, and it's split right down the middle. It's alternated underdog favorite, underdog favorite, underdog favorite. And for the most part, I'm just going to go with the trends, I think. I did write something down, actually. Let me find that. Okay.
I actually have a lock for this one. So you
Do
go
you?
over
So
your trends.
let me
I have
just,
a lock for game 1.
Let me just spitball here, and then you can get into it then.
Okay.
This is the largest line in bowl history. The MAC team scores over 30 in 5 of the 6 games. Like I said, it's been favorite, underdog. That's been the trend. Favorite covered last year. So I'm just going to stick with the trends, and I'm looking at Middle Tennessee plus 10.5.
Is that a pod lock, or is that just a lean?
That's just what I'm
leaning. We got to
leaning.
distinguish between what we're actually taking here.
It's just a lean for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go over here.
Okay.
I think this is just entirely too low of a total, and maybe I'm missing something crazy here, but Toledo many times this year has gone off scoring. The MAC in general has had some very high scoring games with just multiple games hitting, over 90 this year points wise. On the other side of the ball, Middle Tennessee has a pretty not high powered but at least efficient offense. I think they'll be able to put up some points here. Even a 31, 21 gets us there, which is right on the money there. I think I'm going to go with the over 50.5 as a lock. Chase Cunningham from Middle Tennessee, 16-3 touchdown to interception ratio. Finn from Toledo, 16-1 on the touchdown to interception ratio. Man, I like betting on quarterbacks that are efficient, don't turn the ball over. I think we can definitely get over 50.5 here.
Cool. Absolutely, yeah. And with Max scoring over 30-something points in each of the five of the last 6 of these games, I would have to agree with you on that. Cool. Cure Bowl, the Tail Greeter Cure Bowl. This is in Orlando. It's a MAC versus Sun Belt. Northern Illinois versus Coastal Carolina, 6 o'clock. 17th on ESPN2. And we got Coastal minus 10.5. Total is set at 63.5. You got anything here?
Man, I can't take anything here. I know we know Northern Illinois is they hit their season goal. I thought they were going to be a terrible team this year. They end up winning the MAC, which is very MAC-esque. And then Coastal kind of fell short of expectations considering what they were last year. But, man, I'm just not going to take a side here. I would go Coastal minus 10.5 off of Grayson McCaw and the efficiency of Coastal's defense only allowing 325 yards per game. And, on the other side of the field, Northern Illinois allows 215 yards rushing per game. So Coastal's going to be allowed to do pretty much whatever they want here. I'm not going to lock it up, but my lean here would definitely be Coastal minus 10.5.
Well, we got 2 games. We got 2 pod locks. I'm going Northern Illinois plus 10.5.
Dang. Okay,
Sorry,
good thing we're not fighting.
but it was because I watched them play that MAC championship game.
Against Kent, yeah.
Against Kent. I watched that game all the way through because it was literally the only one on. And, man, Northern Illinois' offense was just moving the ball. And with Coastal struggling, they struggled with Appalachian State and Buffalo, who are good running teams. I don't know. I loved what Northern Illinois was doing, and I think they will at least keep it close, if not win outright. But Northern Illinois plus 10.5 is a lock for me.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Boca Raton Bowl. Boca Raton, Florida. Conference USA versus Sun Belt. It's Western Kentucky against Appalachian State. This is a first game on Saturday the 18th, 11 a.m. ESPN. Appalachian State, 3-point favorite. Total is 67.5. Anything?
Yeah. Western Kentucky plus 3.
Any reason?
They didn't win the conference championship, and I love their offense. I just love it, man. And I can't bet on an Appalachian State quarterback named Chase Bryce. So even though he's had a little bit better of a year than he did at Duke last year, I have to rock with Western Kentucky. I love their offense. I know they're determined to win a bowl game in the first year with the whole staff there. I know they're going to be throwing the ball over the field, so there's going to be many opportunities to score. And I'm getting 3 points in Boca Raton. I'll take Western Kentucky plus 3.
Yeah. I don't really have much going on with this one. So
The bottom of the Sun Belt this year was absolutely horrendous. Pretty much 75% of the Sun Belt this year was horrendous when we're talking about the level of play that Appalachian State actually had to face. I know Western Kentucky's schedule wasn't that great, but I just think this is not the typical Appalachian State program that we're so used to, dominating that conference, dominating, the Carolinas. So I feel pretty confident.
Confident in them winning the game or just covering?
I'm going to go with, I like the points. I'll take plus 3.
Cool. All right. Moving on is the Cricket Celebration Bowl. So this is the HBCU, basically national championship game, I believe, right?
Is it the Natty?
I think
Okay.
that's what I read was
For
it's the Natty.
HBCUs,
So South Carolina State against Jackson State in Atlanta, noon, ABC, Saturday the 18th. Jackson State's 10-point favorites, over-unders 42.5. I'll be quick with this one, basically because today was National Signing Day, and Deion Sanders was able to flip probably the best prospect in the 2022 class from Florida State to Jackson State, the first ever 5-star, I think, going to HBCU.
Yeah.
Jackson State minus 10. You can't bet against Deion Sanders.
Yeah. I'll lean that. I'm not going to lock it
Well,
up
no,
in the
it's
pod,
not. Yeah. I'm not doing a lock.
Okay.
All right. But I am leaning.
I am going to do a lean.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I would lean the same way.
Beauty. Moving right along, we're sticking. Again, I think we have like six or seven games.
This next
Saturday.
game, the PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl. PUBG has a bowl game.
You'll wait until we get further on down the list. There's
Wow.
a few bowls that you're going to laugh at. Fresno State, UTEP. This is WAC versus Conference Conference USA, CSU, Jesus. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, 2:15 on ESPN. Fresno State's 11.5-point favorites. The total is set at 51. Let me pull mine up real quick because I do believe that I had something to say. Do you have anything while I get my ducks in a row here?
I mean, I just think this line is pretty accurate. UTEP lost 4 out of their last 5 here. You don't know what UTEP team we're getting. They're obviously on the decline with their only win in the last 5 games being against Rice. Man, that FAU loss really does not make me feel good about this UTEP team either. That was kind of the start of their debacle. Fresno State, on the other hand, has been handling opponents pretty well. They beat a good Nevada team. They beat a good San Diego State team. And they handled San Jose State and New Mexico pretty easily. They did lose to Boise State at home. I mean, that's a hard game. It's a hard draw, especially in the spot they were in right there, coming off of a really tough defense at San Diego State. If I had to lean here, well, if I had to take one, I would probably take the Fresno minus 11.5. But for the pod, this is going to be a pass for me.
Yeah, same here, and it's also going to be Fresno minus 11.5. Reason being, sorry, I'm writing while I do this. UTEP, I mean, their advantage over the season has been that their defense has been better than other teams that they faced, but I think in this game both defenses are basically the same, and Fresno State quarterback, I think, could possibly be one of the better ones in the country. Although he's facing a tough defense at UTEP, UTEP actually lost defensive back Justin Prince, hurt in their last game of the year, I think, so he's going to be out for this game. And, you know, from watching Ohio State all year and how bad their secondary was, if you're down a secondary unit, it's going to be pretty tough, especially when the quarterback for the other team likes to throw the ball. So Fresno State minus 11.5, that's just a lean, not a lock. Moving on, Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. So this is an independent team against Conference USA. It's UAB versus BYU, Shreveport, Louisiana. 3:30 ABC, December 18th. BYU's a 7-point favorite. The total is 54.5. What do you got? Anything?
Yeah, I'm going to go with BYU minus 7 here.
Is that a lock or
yeah,
a lead?
I'm going to lock it up.
Okay.
Just love this offense. Defensive, statistically, UAB and BYU are pretty even when it comes to defensive statistics. I do think BYU's played a tougher schedule. UAB didn't win their conference this year. They did finally lose at home this year. I just love the rushing game. I think BYU is going to be able to outsize UAB. Tyler Algier, 1,400 yards, 20 touchdowns this year on the ground for BYU. I think they're going to be able to run the ball pretty easily. I like the full touchdown.
Full touchdown for BYU.
Yeah.
Let me see. Did I have anything out of this? 54. What did I say the total was? 54.5.
54.5 right now.
Yeah, I'll stick with. I'm going to go with you. BYU minus 7. Again, that's a lean, not a lock for me, though, because you know what you're talking about, and I am going to jump on your bandwagon because you are hot. All right, Lending Tree Bowl, Liberty, Eastern Michigan, Independent School against MAC, Mobile, Alabama, 5:45 p.m. ESPN. Liberty is a 9.5-point favorite. Total is set at 58.5. Let me go through my notes here because I know I wrote something down for this. Yep. There it is. So this is going to be a lock for me. The underdog in this bowl game has won the last 5 against the spreads. Liberty is 9.5 points. They're 6-6 against the spread this year, but they're playing a Maction school. And did Hugh Freeze? Okay, let me think about this real quick, actually. They did not have a coaching change at Liberty, right?
No.
Never mind, I'm not locking this then. I was thinking about something else. My mind's been all over the place today. But I am going to lean with it. Eastern Michigan plus 9.5 just because the underdog in the past 5 bowl, like the 5 games of this bowl, the underdog is covered. And I don't know. I'd like Maction. I don't like independent schools.
Yeah, man. This is just another game where I think the line is dead on. So I'm not really going to pick a side. I know if Eastern Michigan wants to stop Liberty, all they need to do is contain Malik Willis. One thing that sticks out to me here is how good Liberty's defense is compared to Eastern Michigan, and that may be the reason here for the 10-point spread or the 9.5 points. Man, I've been on a tear betting Eastern Michigan overs this year with them playing in the MAC, but I think if I had to give a pick, it would be probably that under 58.5. But I'm not going to lock anything up for this game. I think Vegas has this one pretty right.
You said under 58.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lean.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that's why I thought I had a lock here, because it was the next game that I have a lock in. The Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl.
Boo.
Jimmy Kimmel has his own bowl game.
Yeah.
How dumb is that?
Screw Jimmy Kimmel, dude.
Fuck this. All right. Oregon State, Utah State, Pac-12 against the Mountain West. It's in Inglewood, so that is SoFi Stadium, I believe. Yeah, SoFi Stadium, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. Oregon State's a 7.5-point favorite. Total set at 67.5. And I'm taking Oregon State minus 7.5. That's a lock for me. I hate when you look at me like that, though.
No, I wasn't gonna lock it up. I was leaning that way though.
Okay, so good. That makes me feel a lot better.
I was leaning with the Oregon State, just because watching Utah State this year, they folded a lot in big games.
Yep.
Oregon State, they're a good team. They have a productive offense. They have a solid defense. They're somebody that you can rely on. 7-5 in the Pac-12. I mean, compared to a 10-3 Mountain West team is I'd probably rather go with the Pac-12 team. They played Oregon tough. They pulled out wins against ASU. I mean, they did lose to Colorado and Cal on the road, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm going to go with Oregon State here.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty one-sided here. Oregon State or nothing for me.
Utah State has never beaten a Power 5 caliber team in a bowl game. Has one bowl win since 2014. Utah State may be able to pass the ball, but I think Oregon State's running game is going to basically control this and dominate. And Oregon State, it's because of Oregon State's offensive line. Utah State, again, this is a Power 5 offensive line that they're going to have to face. And I just think Oregon State runs the ball down their throat, takes over from the opening kickoff, and if not a blowout, I don't see this ever really being in danger. So Oregon State minus 7.5 is my lock. And you said you were leaning that way?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next game?
We got the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. That's going to be down in, let me check it out for you.
New Orleans.
Wow, New Orleans. How crazy. 9:15 p.m. kickoff on the 18th. That's a good one. That's a good one to go to bed on.
Yep, Conference USA, Sun Belt, Louisiana against Marshall on ESPN. Louisiana is the 5.5-point favorite. The total's 54.5.
Is Billy Napier coaching in this game?
I don't think
Even
so.
though he
Let
went
me
to
check.
Florida. Yeah, check that for me, because
Head coach.
that's the difference here for me.
No, Napier is
Not coaching.
not coaching.
I mean, man, maybe they want to go on without him. Louisiana's played great all year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, I wouldn't say great, but they've got the job done all year outside of week one versus a new Texas team.
Yeah,
so
12-game winning streak. Sun Belt Championship.
I used to love, a couple years ago, betting on this Grant Wells kid at Marshall, at quarterback. Maybe it was just last year. Man, there was a point in the season last year where, towards the end, where he's just solidified himself as a turnover machine. If he throws one, he throws two. So I think if Louisiana can rattle Wells at quarterback for Marshall, I think this 5.5 spread is going to be pretty easy to cover. Levi Lewis on the other side of the ball for Louisiana on offense is just ridiculous. 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions this year. Has a lot of yards on the ground. he's pretty reliable overall. I mean, I'm not going to lock it up, but I would definitely be leaning that Louisiana minus 5.5, knowing that, man, Grant Wells just falls apart whenever they whenever he starts playing bad. And on top of that, Marshall's allowing almost 200 rushing yards a game, while Louisiana's almost rushing for 200 yards a game. They really want to. They could just ground and pound this out. And I think that's what Vegas is telling us with only a 55-yard total. So
Yeah.
I would feel pretty comfortable here with minus 5.5.
Yeah, and I think that, the whole Napier not coaching, I don't think it's going to play as much of a factor as everyone thinks it is. This team, yeah, they went 12-0 with him there, but they went, I think it was like 32-4. Yeah, like their record's been
With him as head coach.
Yeah. So, that's experience that those players receive too. So it's not like just the coach had that experience. Those players know how to get through games and win close games. So if it's close at the end with Marshall having a shot to win, I think Louisiana will still be able to hold on. And it's basically in front of home fans too. So this is practically a home game. I'm going to stick with you and go Louisiana minus 5.5. And then we will move on Monday, December 20th, Myrtle Beach Bowl. Old Dominion, Conference USA against Tulsa, AAC. This is in Conway, South Carolina, 2:30, again on Monday. ESPN, Tulsa's a 9.5-point favorite. Total set at 52.5. So I haven't watched Old Dominion play. I've seen Tulsa play.
They've surpassed a lot of expectations this year, but this is just a no-pig game for me.
Yeah.
You don't know what... Down the stretch, both of these teams played games against conference opponents that have given up on the season. Like last 5 games, Tulsa played Tulane, who gave up, and they played against Temple, who I don't even know if half the players are still on the team there. On top of that, they beat an SMU team who was out of contention, so they didn't care anymore. For Old Dominion, they beat an FIU team and an FAU team down the stretch that were done playing, and they beat a pretty easy Charlotte team at the end of the year. I just don't know where you can go with this. Since the spread is so high, if I had to lean, I'd probably go with Old Dominion to stay within the 9.5 there. But I'm gonna pass here.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I think is that Tulsa's going to win the game. I just don't know by how much. From what I've seen with Tulsa's offense, and I don't know. I'm not too impressed by them. Again, I don't know much about Old Dominion. So what was the total at? 52.5. Mm-hmm. Tulsa can score 30. It's 22. I'm just going to take the over in this game.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the over. So I got over. Where's my pen? Over 52.5. Tulsa. And then you had Old Dominion?
No, I'm just I'm going to lean Old Dominion. Yeah.
Leaning. Yeah, that's what I'm putting here. Don't worry.
Good. Gotta preserve that record.
I know. I'm not putting you on the hook. Don't worry, bud. Okay. Tuesday, December 21st, famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Kent State, Wyoming. This is in Boise, Idaho. 3:30 kick, ESPN. Wyoming's a 3-point favorite. Total's 59.5. And, I went into the MAC championship loving Kent State, and they shit the bed.
Yeah.
They did not look good, so I don't think that they're going to come out and have a very good showing in this game as well. When you lose a conference championship the way that they did, when they had all this hype going up with them, and when you play bad in those kind of jerseys,
mm-hmm.
I don't think that bodes well for your next game if it's a bowl game and you have a few weeks off. So
not at all.
I'm going to go with Wyoming -3 in this one. Kent State, they have their moments, but defense just is not there for them. And Wyoming's running game is about the same as Northern Illinois and what they use in the MAC championship. So they're going to run the ball. They're going to get up over 250 yards. And, yeah, I don't see Kent State really sticking around in this game. So I'm going Wyoming -3.
I can lock that up with you too. Give me a lock, Wyoming -3. I like the way they were trending. They gave Boise State a pretty good game on the blue turf. They did what they needed to do down the stretch. Here's the thing about Wyoming. A lot of times this year, you just never knew they're very volatile in what you could expect from them. So sometimes when I thought they were really going to blow a team out, they got blown out. Vice versa. They don't have to travel far. It's only in Idaho, and Kent State is down after not winning that MAC championship. I think their defense has some obvious flaws in it that Wyoming's passing game can expose. I'll go with Kent State here, or I'll go with Wyoming here. Sorry, I was looking at Kent State stats.
So that's a double lock then on the pod.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Are we undefeated?
Did you say? Yeah, I think.
No, we only lost one this year. That was Ohio State against Michigan.
Bastards. I'm sorry. Did you say they played on Boise's turf this year?
Yeah.
And they won that game?
No, they lost by 10, but they gave them a good game.
Okay, but they've played on the turf.
Yeah, they've been there.
All right, cool.
They know
and
exactly.
They're close. Wyoming's closer to Idaho than Ohio is, so
yep.
You got a little home field there. Ooh, we got a podcast lock in a bowl game. You love to see it. All right, next one. Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl. UTSA, San Diego State, Conference USA against Mountain West. Frisco, Texas, so that's going to be for UTSA's advantage, 7:30 p.m., ESPN. UTSA, 2.5-point favorite, total set at 50. Let's see, did you have anything?
Man, this is a really good game. I thought UTSA checked out after losing to North Texas, but they came back around and beat Western Kentucky to win their conference championship. San Diego State is a pretty damn good team. They may be down after getting blown out against by Utah State. I can't take one here. This total 49.5 is pretty on par. I also think San Diego State's offense isn't that good. If I had to lean one way, I'd go probably under this 49.5.
Okay, under 49.5. I'm going to lean UTSA because they're at home. They're the Roadrunners. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
I don't really have much
home
to say
field
with this one.
advantage or what?
Yeah, when I look at these games and I don't really have a lock for it, I just go with basically how close their fans are to the stadium.
Okay.
And
Who can
UTSA
travel?
is Texas San Antonio, for those of you who don't know. So that's in the state of Texas where this game is being played. And California is farther than Texas. So, all right, last game here in part one of our bowl show is Wednesday, the 22nd, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Army against Missouri. This is actually like one of the first games that we start to bring in some good teams, like some teams that we're going to be able to talk about. Independent school in Army against an SEC school in Missouri. This is in Fort Worth, Texas, 8 p.m. ESPN. Army, the 3.5-point favorite, over/under set at 58. Do you have much you want to talk about with this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to have a lock for this game. Missouri's head coach and their defense, I would figure that they're smart enough to find a way to stop this triple option, but they also are a defense that's given up 230 yards on the ground per game this year. Army finished, well, they were trending hot. They got beat up probably in that Navy game, ended up losing. Man, this is a tough one. I honestly can't pick a side. I'd probably go with the underdog here, but Army could very easily pop off. Total being 58 in a game that, I mean, has a service academy is maybe the highest total I've seen in a long time. If I had to lean, it'd probably be under, but man, Missouri's got a high-powered offense if they wanted to. So
that's exactly what I was thinking, though, is I look at the total being 58, and I think if Army wins the way that everyone thinks they should, being a 3.5-point favorite, they win by playing Army football, so that's scoring less than 28 points.
Right.
And I don't see Missouri really being able to, like, if they win, I see Missouri winning by maybe a touchdown.
Right.
I don't see them blowing them out. So Army, 21 points. Let's say Missouri wins and they score 28.
Mm-hmm.
You're at 49. I'm going to lean with the under on this one.
I agree.
Cool. All right, well, there's part one. Let me go through them here real quick. Let's see. So we each had 3 locks. I'll give you the locks first and then the leans.
I had 4.
What was your 4th one?
Wyoming.
No, I got that. I got the Middle Tennessee over 50.5.
Mm-hmm.
BYU -7.
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky +3. Got it.
Boom.
All right. So my locks, Northern Illinois +10.5. Oregon State -7.5. Wyoming -3. That is with Big Country. He has Wyoming -3. BYU -7. Western Kentucky +3. And then the over 50.5 in Middle Tennessee, Toledo.
Nice.
The leans that we have, I got Middle Tennessee +10.5. Western Kentucky +3, which if Big Country's saying it's a lock, I'm probably going to be good with that. Jackson State -10. That's both of ours leans. Fresno -11.5. BYU -7. Again, that's a lock with Big Country, so I might be locking that up as well. Eastern Michigan +9.5. Louisiana -5.5. Tulsa over 52.5. UTSA -2.5, and then the under 58 in the Army game. And Big Country, Coastal -10.5. Jackson State -10. The under in the Eastern Michigan game of 58.5. Oregon State -7.5. Louisiana -5.5. ODU +9.5. The under in the UTSA game of 49.5, and the under in the Army game of 58. There it is. The locks, I mean, we could tweet out the locks probably the day of the game or the day before the game or whatever it may be, just because this takes us through the 22nd of December. And that's it for part one. Look out next week or whenever it may be. Part 2 is going to cover the next handful of games. Part 3 will start to get into our New Year's 6 playoff games, stuff like that. And then I think our last show of the season is going to be our national championship show, where we dive into the game, prop bets, anything we can really get our hands on in that game. And yeah.
Then we'll see you in 2022.
Ooh, I can't wait. Big things coming. All right. You got anything else?
I'm good.
Hit us up on our socials. You got those for him?
Yeah, follow us on Twitter at CFP_pod. Follow Dan at DPOSK13. Follow me at Big Country Bets. Man, send us a tweet. Send us your picks. Find us on anywhere you stream your podcast.
Anywhere you get your podcast, we are there. And that's it. He's got nothing else. I got nothing else. I'm Dan. That's Big Country. We will see you with part 2 sometime next week.